Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Saving Souls on Monday, the shoe review channel for style-conscious men who want to look like a boss on a budget. I shop at thrift stores, online, on eBay, all kinds of places looking for the best deals, and I find them. Follow me every Monday, and we'll review a new shoe, talk about its history a little bit, or find something interesting, and talk about some different style options, some different clothing that you can wear with them. Let's jump into today's video, and it's all about Oliberte. These are made in Africa, 100%. Now imagine this. You finally decided to take a great vacation. You said, honey, let's go to Africa. I've been there twice. It's a great continent. And you decide to go to Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. It's fun to say, the main city. And you're walking around town. You bought these really awesome Manka LP limited production sneaker boots, hiking boots. Who knows what they are, but they certainly are cool. And you realize, wait a minute, sweetheart, we're lost. I have no idea where I am. This dream vacation could turn into a nightmare, and you remember, oh, no worries, I bought some Oliberte shoes. And inside each set of Oliberte shoes, on the sole, I don't know if you can see that, there's a perfect map. A map of Addis Ababa. The day is saved. Let's talk about Oliberte. Now this is a beautiful shoe. I saw this at the thrift store, walked right over to it, saw my size, and they were mine. I picked these up for 20 bucks, and that's a steal because these go for around 200, maybe a little bit less. Now this is the Manka LP by Oliberte. These are made in Africa, in Ethiopia, in the factory in Addis Ababa. It's fun to say. And let's talk about the company. Now, Oliberte was started by a guy named Tal Ditiar. Hope I'm saying his last name right. A little bit hard to pronounce. He's Canadian, but he was born in Israel, grew up in Canada. And he decided he wanted to start a fair trade company where it would really promote Africa, and he could create something sustainable in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, build his factory there, hire all local workers, make everything out of, locally sourced materials. And it was very righteous. It started in 2009. In around 2010, I believe it was, right around when he started, he went on a show that's very similar to what we have here in America, that show Shark Tank. I don't know if you watch that. I watch that sometimes with Mr. Wonderful and the various, Mark Cuban and the various millionaires, the billionaires that they have on there, investors. Well, they have a version of it in Canada called The Dragon's Den. Same show. I believe Mr. Wonderful is on it also. I watched a little bit of the episode with Tal Ditiar, who went on there twice to, ask for investment. And he was rejected twice, unfortunately. They didn't see the profitability in his company. He was dedicated to his environmental mission and to setting up in Ethiopia. And you know how those investor shows go, they want to make everything in China and maximize the profit margins. So it didn't work out. However, the episode, I think that really did work out for the people at Oliberte, because it really put them on the map in a national scale. A lot of people watch those shows, and some people that don't get investment on those shows still launch their product and are amazingly successful. And I think that he was one of them. So they continued to set their product up. They hired all local workers. They made shoes. And in about 2018, I believe it was, they had to shut down all the African production. Oh, terrible. Unfortunate. Shut down all the African production, the factories, everything. And they moved to Canada, back to Canada, and that's where they currently are. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Manka LP, how it's made, and I want to add some criticisms just as we go along. So this is very much a handmade shoe. And I noticed that right away. The stitching, the leather is great leather, but I did notice the stitching is a little inconsistent. And right along this outer edge, I noticed on my pair, the stitching is different than if you look on the outer edge of this pair. This pair, the stitching looks great all the way around. I've looked at every stitch on the entire shoe. It's a little inconsistent. Now, that came from their business model where Oliberte shoes hired a 60% female workforce. That's not the problem. I'm not picking on gender. The problem is that workforce of women had never worked before. They'd never had jobs before. Now that's a problem because I watched a 4-minute video that the company Oliberte puts out, which is a very nice video about their factory and how it's made, and they show people making the shoes, and it's very impressive. And I love this shoe. This is a beautiful shoe. And after watching the video, I said, great. But then when I found out that 60% of their workforce is women, and those women have never had jobs before, I realized that there's a little bit of a misinformation going on with Oliberte. These are not made by craftsmen. They didn't find those women at other shoe companies, in markets making shoes. These women had never worked a job before. So that added to the inconsistency. He had logistics problem, he had permitting problems, problems with the government, problems with sourcing the material. The leather became inconsistent from various sources. And you see the sole on this is a very neat looking light colored sole. This is natural leather. Feels different, looks different. This is pretty funky looking stuff. And I like it. It really is a nice looking shoe. But I'm going to tell you, be honest, a little bit of criticism. This natural rubber will deteriorate much quicker than synthetic rubber. And if you wear these as your everyday shoe, you're going to wear these suckers out in a year, I bet you. So let's just jump forward into what we would wear with these bad boys, because I really do like them. When I saw these, I went right for them, and I was making sure that nobody else got them. Let's start off with a casual outfit, and we'll get a little bit more dressy as we move forward. So I would wear some gray cotton chinos, and these aren't super tight, but they're not real baggy. So the break of the pants, where the ankle falls on these, falls perfectly with this boot, exposing some of the boot, but still covering just the top. And then I would wear with it a t-shirt. Now notice this t-shirt has some buttons. It's got some buttons just to class it up a little bit. And that's a nice outfit. And you go cruising around all day in your nice outfit. Now, you want to go out to dinner later at night with your sweetheart. You throw on a nice, crisp, clean, white button-down shirt. You should have a whole bunch of these. I love them. And then you add to the outfit a camel hair jacket. We're talking about shoes made in Africa. Camels are from Africa, right? A camel hair sport coat. And maybe you put a little bit of a pocket square in there. And that pocket square could match your super cool G-Shock watch band. This is a slight green. The pocket square was a little bit of a green. Not to just keep you hanging too long, but let's end it off with a cologne. You could spray on, this is, you can tell by the bottle, Versace Eros Flame, but this is Maison Alhambra Vers Adonis Red. It's the same thing as Eros Flame. Smells great. This stuff is amazing. It's powerful, a little bit citrusy, a little bit incensey, kind of spicy. Don't spray too much. Now, I like to end off all my videos with a style tip. I want to talk about sport coats, guys. Sport coats, that's my style tip. You can pick them up at thrift stores, pick them up at vintage stores. You can pick them up on eBay, but I like to shop for them in person because you can try them on. Regardless, even if it doesn't fit, take it to the tailor. I got a jacket right now that I bought at the thrift store around the corner for, what, 15 bucks? It's a Ralph Lauren, beautiful jacket. I looked at it online. It's vintage. It's no longer sold, but it's worth several hundred. I'm getting it tailored, a couple bucks. This is going to be amazing. I have a whole closet full of sport coats. Sport coats are great for your outfits. You can be t-shirts and jeans, throw on a sport coat, you look like a billionaire. Look like you're from San Jose. I'm telling you, sport coats are a great way to level up your style. Saving Souls on Monday. Thanks for watching.